In this video I talk about how to turn £10,000 into a multi-million property portfolio, and the exact systems I used reveal it in this video so you can copy it as well. Right, the best time to start property investment is like 20 years ago, so the second best time is now. In this video I go through the steps or the actual methods I did, using 10k to get into a multi-million pound property empire. And spoilers alert, it isn't a get rich quick scheme. So if you're interested in getting it done quickly, my method wasn't the way, it didn't happen like that, but I got there in the end. So I share all the secrets and everything in this quick video. There are more information I do go into in my property workshop, but I just wanted to share as much as I can in this 10-minute video. So the first thing I need to talk about is why property? Why property in the first place? Why invest in property? So I go through the pros and cons of property investment, and then what I invested in, how and the types of the strategy I use, and what I would do now if I was to restart again in 2025, the methods I would use and tips I would give to you. So let's start off with the first thing. And the first one, before I carry on, it was slow and steady. It did take quite a few years, but I started, and over, I would say, 20 years for it to really gain traction. So it's a 20-year type of method. But there's other ways you can do it, which I go through later on in the video. And was it worth it? Yes, because now I've been able to retire early, and rental income has replaced my day job as a qualified actuary working in the city in the financial sector. So why property investment? Property investment for 4 reasons. If you buy a property for investment purposes, it's quite topical. People are saying, especially Gen Z, are saying, people should not own property. Investors shouldn't have property. There shouldn't be property investment at all. That there should be one property per person, and property should not be used as an asset class. But if you're in a position to do so, why will you not use your saved earned income and buy an asset which you can help someone to live in who can't afford to buy a property, but they're providing a nice, comfortable home for them? So those are the reasons why I think property investment is good, but it's of course it's quite political and everyone's got their different views. But in this video I go through 4 why property investment. The first one is that if you buy at discount, you've got the discount, you bought it at cheap. It's like going for a second-hand car. You can buy it at discount, or you can buy the full price. Property gives you, as an asset class, gives you rental income, which you can use to replace your income. Property over the long term does go up in value. So I have case studies where I bought something for 58,000, one bed flat in Croydon. 30 years later, it was worth over 200,000. So it's capital appreciation. And the fourth one is the leverage. You can once it's gone up, you can 5-10 years time, you can refinance, basically remortgage, take some of the capital growth, and then invest it again into another property. So those are the reasons why property investments are good. And of course there's also disadvantages, which I don't go through in this video. My journey started when I was within a year of leaving university. So I bought a 1-bed flat in Croydon for 58,000. That was right at the peak in 1988, May 88, and then 2 months later it went down, and it kept on going down for 10 years. So it went into negative equity for 10 years. It was crazy. That was it. I didn't know what I was doing. I took the first plunge. I wanted to not rent, and I wanted to move out of home, so I bought property. So property does not always go up, as some property mentors allude you to believe. It can go down, and it can go down for a long time. For me, it was 10 years. But over the long term, that property that went from 58,000 to 42,000 over the 10-year period, and is now worth over 200,000. So that's an example where I'm giving you a realistic picture of property investment. So bought that one, moved out of that property, and because it became too small, I had my first baby, and it was just too small for me, my husband, baby, and my mum, who used to come and look after the baby Monday to Friday. So we rented. So we went in a rented for a year, then we bought another property, and still kept the first one because it was in negative equity. It didn't make sense to sell it, because once you sell something, you crystallise that loss. So we kept that, and it took 10 years for it to even break even again. So we kept that, and as soon as it broke even, we sold. And that was mistake number one in property investment: never ever sell. So it was paying for itself. The rental was paying for the mortgage, but it was just the stress of having a rental, because we were what's it called, we didn't buy it with the intention of going into property investment. So we were accidental landlords. So we sold that one. So if we kept it, it's now worth 200,000. But we sold that one. So lesson number one: never sell. Lesson number two: always have a plan. So don't go into property investment without a plan. So have a plan of action, have a strategy, have a start date and end date, and always look at the numbers. So that I go through in my workshops, property workshops, based on my mistakes I've made over the years. I go into detail so you can avoid the mistakes I made. So moved into the family home, 4-bedroom detached, and we stayed there for 20 years, and it served us right. So what we did with that one, we maxed out. We did 4 times joint income and to really stretch ourselves. But people think, why would you do that? Well, it worked out well in the end. Again, it wasn't intentional, it was just something we needed to do. So to have mum, dad, children, and my mother who looked after the kids. So we wanted something big enough. So that property kept for over 20 years, and that's gone up crazy over the years. And so the advantage of buying something bigger than you can really afford is that you don't have to move every few years. So we saved on stamp duty, transactional costs of moving, the stress of moving, and so we had 20 years of bliss. So that's why sometimes it's good to stretch yourself. So learn from that one, or take it or leave it. So after that, the next property journey was to use redundancy pay, turn a negative into positive. So the redundancy pay I got when I was made redundant, I think 4 times in my career as an actuary. There's no such thing as a job for life. So I use that redundancy pay to use as a deposit to buy investment properties, and that's how we funded the property investments through redundancy pay, savings, and also releasing the equity from existing property portfolio to buy more. Those are the examples. And if I was to start again if I was again Felicia, age 22, start my property investment journey, these are the things I would do now. I would have a plan of action. I would have an exit strategy. I would know what location I'm going to invest in. I would do the deal analysis. So I'm going to attach a deal. If you comment below deal, I'll send you my deal analysis spreadsheet. And every property I buy will be with intention. There will be a strategy to each purchase. So that I didn't have that in my property journey. It was just by me taking action and thinking property is a good thing. Sometimes listen to my mother. As you know my history, I was made homeless at a very young age, and we always felt security was important. So my investment properties are to provide secure homes for the ones we live in, for our family, and for my tenants. Secure homes, comfortable, secure, and well looked after properties for them to use as homes. So those are high level things. Comment below what you thought about this video, what takeaways would you take from them, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening.